Perceive, process, perform. Do you need inspiration for your practice? Or do you simply need to practice inspiration? With this series, we aim to do both. Give us 15 minutes and we'll give you practice inspiration. This presentation is given by Pinhas Adar, MDT, CDT. The theme, take charge of your business and your life. Master ceramist Pinhas Adar has over 35 years' experience in all phases of dental laboratory technology. He specializes in the many facets of porcelain aesthetic restorations on both natural teeth and osseointegrated implants. For over 20 years, he operated his own private dental laboratory within a multidisciplinary practice. All of this experience, paired with his natural abilities, has predictably made him a master in creating restorations. However, it has also provided him with the opportunity to learn through running his own practice and observing the practices of his clients, how going to war on mediocrity can help you take charge of your business and your life.
Hi, this is Pinhas Adar, and thank you again for choosing to watch me for 15 minutes. I'm going to share with you a few ideas, strategies that may help you in your practice to go to the next level. The reason I'm qualified to share with you those principles is because I use them in my own business and life. And hopefully that can raise the bar in your practice. You know, sometimes we have to realize that sometimes what we do is we're hurting ourselves. So you have to protect yourself from yourself. Make it hard to do the wrong thing. In dentistry especially, there are lots of mediocrity that goes on as far as quality. I've noticed that so many people showing this amazing work on screen, but then also so many show mediocrity on screen. Because of the CAD/CAM technology and all the fast turnaround times and Asia connection and all the commercialization of the laboratories, it's really, really disturbing to me. So sometimes to go to the next level, what we have to do is really, there's inspiration, either by what you love or desperation because you can't stand it anymore. And love can get you only so far, but sometimes you have to look at it, what do you hate? Because hate, I think, has more power. And for example, my hatred is against mediocrity. Do you hate mediocrity? Mediocrity is the most destructive thing because you settle. You never stretch yourself. You always get stuck in conformity and you rationalize. That's what happens to dentistry today with over corporate takeover and people are feared about prizes, competition, heavy competition. So things change. So to me, hate is more motivating. And my mission in my laboratory services is to create a vision of what's possible to patients, to doctors, and show them that because it's technology, you don't have to be mediocre. And there's so many laboratories, you'll see this promotion in magazines, and even a lecture circuit, I see people show those things, and they tell you it's the fastest, it's the strongest. They take a hammer, they try to break the bridge or the crown and tell you, oh, it's the best because it's only $99.99 or $79.99, and then you deliver those things to your patient. You're actually doing this service to you and your patient because that's negative promotion for your practice. So if you want to go to the next level, the dreams that you have, the achievements that you want, you must raise your standards. You must demand more of yourself than anybody else can expect. So next time you're looking at your practice and you want to go to the next level, you have to recognize that those promotions, those seductions that you see in magazines and everybody competing with this rat race, the fast-changing technology, you have to watch yourself. And the way I look at it, even if you are in the rat race and you win the race, you're still a rat. So be careful. Don't get stuck with those mediocrity. Go where there is no path and create a new way. And patients will appreciate it. Just show you an example. This lady had the mediocrity delivered to her. The dentist was very frustrated because she didn't know that it's even possible to do something that looks like teeth. And I've seen those things glaring from all over the place. And they rationalize it's good enough because it's strong, it's never going to break, but it doesn't look good. And to me, this dysfunctioning type of device can be harmful to your practice promotion. So what you have to learn is to create a vision for what's possible, collaborate with achievement-minded partners that can bring something like that to reality. If you look at comparison, half is the disaster that patient hated, both aesthetically and functionally, and half is what we've done, just to superimpose to see what's possible. Now, the reason I show that, because you ask, well, how much does it cost? Quality doesn't have to cost fortune. It's affordable. And the way I paint to my patient and my clients, the value that you bring to this type of quality is this. I ask my patients, do you drink a cup of coffee a day, or 2 or 3? Most people spend in Starbucks at least 2 or 3 cups a day. Between the difference between those products, it's only 1 cup a day, $3.95, $3.55 a day. Because if you have this disastrous restoration for 5 years, and they guarantee this ugly restoration for 5 years, it's not going to break. If you took $3.55 per day, that's the difference in quality. So when you say, well, my patients cannot afford it, you're really doing no justice for them. You're doing no justice because they don't even know it's possible. You should be able to offer them that your high standard and appreciate what you offer. Now also the other thing that I've noticed as far as mediocrity goes, the design. This hybrid bridge, you can see that bridge was overly ridge lap and jeopardized the position of the implant, inflammation, and the longevity of the case. Now, you have to ask yourself, yes, 5 years warranty, but when do you see failure? We are not talking about aesthetic failure, I'm talking about functional failure, disaster on implants. So yes, you can create restorations like beautiful, lifelike, zirconia, full monolithic, all minimally layered, but you have to have the right team. You have to have a teamwork is a dream work. You've heard that. But you have to work with the right team, not the wrong team. Make sure that everybody is on the same page. To me, my mission is really to go to war against mediocrity. I think that's what I hate the most. And it's so motivating because when somebody says that you can't do something, which many people claim, like that bridge I showed you that someone said, we are the best, that's the best, nobody complains about it. That's what they told their doctor. I have to show the way. I have to show that it's possible. And that's my mission in life, to make it different. When everybody say you can't, then you can. The second point I like to make is, what is the different in your practice? What is the different in you as a dentist? You know, people come into you for health, aesthetics, function. Why should they come to you? You have to ask that yourself. And one of my suggestions in my presentation, it's always to record yourself. Record audio or video of yourself presenting something to your patient. And don't prejudge them. Don't tell them that they can afford something you haven't even offered. Don't be the judge. Just tell them the truth, be passionate. And then review your taping with your staff members. Make sure your staff is on board. And analyze and ask those questions. Ask yourself, do I sound salesy? Do I sound pushy? Do I sound like I know what I'm talking about? Do I sound arrogant? Is it the proposition, is it ego-driven, or you really care? And so those questions will clarify how you appear to your patients, not what you think you look like. And for the staff will give you honest opinion about your appearance. And you have to be willing to change and get the critiques by trained ear. You also need to ask maybe other people beside your office and get input from them so you can go to the next level. Because you can't do it. I mean, no man is an island. You need a team. You need a team, somebody to support you to get you to the next level. My clients always say, you know, my location is not appropriate. If I was in a different place, I'll have better patients, I'll have more case acceptance. But location has nothing to do with it. As you know, it's not the location, it's you. You have to work on yourself, your ability to clarify, create visions for your patients, identify their needs, not just dental needs. I'm talking about emotional needs, because basically people make decisions based on their emotion. and then rationalize it with their mind. So if you know how to, 3 steps that goes on in the person's mind is distract, the conversation that goes in their head, and then you dispute it, and then you inspire them. And that's a transition that you need to get really what they need and what they want. Because I know patients come in, they come to you, and they say yes to everything you say. They'll have no clue what you're talking about. You assume they do because they say yes. And then they disappear and never show up. So quick judgment about what happened, you say about your patient, well, they can't afford my fees. I'm too good for that. That's why they didn't show up. But the reason is they didn't show up because you didn't touch their heart. You may touch them with their mind and told them all the stuff, all the right information, but that's not all you need. So make sure that your staff and yourself are trained to use the right verbiage. And I'm not saying about sales tactic and manipulation. I'm talking about honesty, openness, and then be connected with the people. You always have to demand of yourself higher standard. Always higher standard in communication skills and the way you deliver your product. You know, our brain is the biggest computer that we have. So many people talk about, protecting your computer software and hardware in your office so you don't get hacked and taken over by spies and viruses. But our mind is the biggest computer that we have to protect. And nobody does nothing about it. We get bombarded with information and lies that we don't even aware of, and we believe those lies. So make sure that whoever you're listening to or where you get your opinions and suggestion is for people who actually have results. Not just the ones that talk about and tell you what to do, but they've never done it before. Advisors that have no clue what you're doing. You have to work with the team that actually gives you clarity why you should listen to them. People who have results, not just the language or the lines. So the computer is almost like the operating system. It doesn't matter what information you put in, it's how it's processed. So if you are not ready to process your information, no matter what you know, it's not going to do anything. Because if knowledge was the only thing that everybody needs, then everybody will be skinny, rich, and happy. But that's not the case. You have to have more. And for you as a dentist, as a clinician, it's not your skill, dental skills, that's going to get you to the next level. Although that's very important, you have to engage in collaborative, achievement-minded Seattle Study Club and others, but you have to have more because patients don't understand what we do. They don't know how good you are, how better you are, better prep or better surgeon. It doesn't matter to them. What it matters is that they know that you have their interest in life and you're going to change their life if what you do. Not just dentistry, but also the way you connect with them. So the way we operate with our mind, it's the most important. So we really have to break the spell of every lie that was installed in us. And that's something that you do daily. It doesn't happen over a weekend. It doesn't happen just one meeting with somebody who pumps you up and motivates you. It's something that you have to do to yourself. Nourish your mind just like you nourish anything else, just like your body. The mind is the number one powerful computer in the world. Now, number 3 I want to share with you because as a dentist or as a professional that we actually trade time for money. And we only have 24 hours a day. You can't do more. And leverage is the key. Most high achievers, people who have multi-billion-dollar businesses, they have more business than you have, but they leverage their input, what they bring to the table. It's not money, but it's the concept of leverage. What I mean by that? For example, if you have a skill and you know what your time value is, you have to decide whatever you're doing daily, would you pay somebody else that amount of money? Let's say your time value is $500 an hour. If you want to produce $1 million and you only work 2,000 hours a year, that's about $500 an hour. Now, if you do some task and it doesn't produce you $500, you're wasting money. So what we need to think about is leverage. Find people that can do that same task better than you do and do something that is vital to produce $500 an hour. And that's how you create leverage. You find the right people, right team members to help you to produce $500 an hour and pay them less and you still make the money. I'll give you just an example. So if you're at work and you work 8 hours and for example you get disturbed by somebody and you take 15 minutes or half an hour talking with them about nothing, no production, that costs you $250. Or if you go and take a phone call, it takes you half an hour, that's $250 per phone call. Or if you go on Facebook, you get distracted and you watch a video there of some sort. Facebook is free, but your time is not. So you have to be capitalized on your time. You have to create the life and the practice that you want, not responding to other people's agenda. And that's the only thing that the curse of knowledge is. We know so much, but we don't do what we know. And I suggest to you to consider, think about the points I made, the 3 points. They're very crucial to your success in going to the next level. So thank you very much for watching me. This is Pinhas Adar from Atlanta, Georgia. Looking forward to seeing you in person.